Ladies and gentlemen of the Mitten State, what you are seeing here is not the Belle Isle Grand Prix, but a real-life version of Gran Turismo. Yes, we have our very own racetrack up here in Michigan that is open to the public, a place where enthusiasts can test their driving prowess and improve their ability to drive at breakneck speeds. This is the Waterford Hills Road Racing Circuit, a racetrack with enough corners to make even Takumi Fujiwara sweat bullets. So, why have I made my way to a racetrack? Well, for starters, racing is something that I've always wanted to get into, but I've never really had the opportunity. To find out that this track exists so close to home is exhilarating. I also feel that the experience I gain from pushing an automobile to its absolute limit will be insightful when I review more vehicles in the future. Learning to drive properly will give me a better understanding of how these machines behave. Most importantly, however, I simply want to hone my skills as an enthusiast. I don't just like cars, I like driving them fast and feeling how all the systems of the vehicle work in harmony with each other. There's only so much you can do on the public roads before you get a 5-star rating from the police and become a menace to society. Another important question that needed answering is just how much a track day will cost. To find the answer, I had to find a fellow enthusiast who does this during Michigan's spring and summer seasons. That gentleman is Nick Arranda. Now, I've spoken to Nick before whilst I was looking for the perfect sports car at both the 2019 North American International Auto Show as well as the 2019 Detroit Autorama. To see more of that film, I will link it below. You'll also find the link to the Waterford Hills circuit below, as well as the business email to Mr. Arranda if you wish to get into racing at this circuit. Now, at this point, there would usually be an interview, however the microphone did not work properly, unfortunately, and I do not want to subject your ears to the terrible sound quality that was recorded. I do apologize to Nick Arranda and to the viewers. I will get a proper interview when the track season begins again, albeit with a much better mic. So what I'm going to do at this point is gloss over the main points that Nick and I discussed to give you guys a better idea of how you can prepare for the upcoming season. The kinds of races you'll find here start with the open track days, which is what I am interested in. In order to get started on the open track days, you'll have to register on the Waterford Hills website, and the fee is right around $200 for the entire day. You bring your own vehicle, however motorcycles, SUVs, and trucks are not allowed due to their size. Outside of those restrictions, you can basically bring whatever you like. For example, I came across a stock Honda Fit, and right around the corner there was a completely stripped Pontiac Fiero, which sat next to an F20C swapped MR2 Spider. Nick Arranda also told me that the cars will have a quick inspection to ensure there are no dangling body panels or profuse leaks coming from the vehicles. If it is your first time, there will be instruction and track practice given by the driving instructors to give newcomers a feel for the course. The open track day instruction will also provide racing etiquette. Because the open track days are time-based, not wheel-to-wheel based. They'll teach you certain hand signals and what not to do when a faster car is coming on your side so you can allow them to pass. There are many other types of racing available as well. According to Nick Arranda, there is Spec Miata open wheel racing, which features both Formula 400 and Formula 500 cars, for example, American sedans, kart racing, improved touring cars, and production touring cars. To run these races, you need to have a racing license. There is a competition licensing school run by Waterford Hills, and if you are interested in the competitive wheel-to-wheel racing, I've left the link with information below as well as the email to get in touch with Nick Arranda. Any sort of racing you choose to do, whether it be the open track days or competitive events, will require your own vehicle. Focusing on the open track days, Nick and I discussed a few modifications you may want to consider for your car. The first recommendation he made is that a good set of performance tires can go a long way, and I would agree with that. Not only will it be safer on the track, but you will be able to push the car further to its limits with it wearing the proper performance shoes. And considering that these would be mainly used for the track, getting them installed on a dedicated set of rims may be something worth considering. Now, to some that might sound like overkill, especially when you consider the price of performance tires and rims, but it's not that uncommon to have 2 sets of wheels and tires for different parts of the year, especially since Michigan looks like this. pretty much from late October through early April. The next thing Nick suggested was to take a look at your vehicle's brakes, more specifically the pads. Upgrading to more aggressive pads will help improve your vehicle's time handling and stopping power. If you don't want to upgrade, then it is a good idea to at least have the brakes redone, meaning new pads and rotors to match the original spec on your vehicle, so that way they are fresh and can give you optimal performance on the track. While none of the things that I've mentioned before are a requirement, they are strongly suggested. After all, nobody wants to be that one guy that is seen getting towed off of the track. Some upgrades I've personally thought of doing on my car are as follows. I'd like to get performance tires and pads all the way around and get rid of the traditional rotors for slotted rotors in their place. That way I can have a cooling benefit. I also think it would be cool to snag a JTM spec ECU in order to boost power from 180 horsepower at the crank to around 185 more or less, and increase the valve lift range. On the 2002 Celica GTS, the valve lift initiates from 6200 RPMs and is capped at 7800 RPMs. The JDM ECU raises that fuel cutoff to around 8250 RPMs, which would allow me to stay in the power band for a longer period of time, therefore, theoretically speaking, having a faster lap time. I have also considered some bucket seats, since the factory leather seats in the 7th gen Celicas are more for comfort and they don't really hold you in place when the car is being pushed through the corners. Keep in mind, I will not be doing all of these modifications at once. I simply do not have that kind of money, and obnoxious school bills are breathing down my neck, but I do plan on buying bits and pieces here and there to make that track day dream a reality. Anyways, I hope that this video was informative enough to get some of you interested in tracking your car. Shout out to Nick Arranda for the information, and as always, thanks for watching.